Welcome back, you beautiful people, to episode 28 of the Living Room Chat podcast with Ryan and Matt.
Yes, sir.
Hello, mate.
Yeah. I did a viewing at number 28 earlier, so just today is like
Day
the
of
day
28s.
of 28. Yeah.
I haven't done anything at 28.
No, it would be good if you did, but hey, maybe
Yeah,
it's
but
just
there we
wasn't
go.
meant to
We
be.
didn't. But back again
Yeah,
in
man.
your living room. We said last episode it'll be a week and we'll be back, and it's now been 2 weeks again. But that's cool.
Is it? Yeah.
That is life. You know, podcast is a side hustle, a hobby. It's not necessarily a big thing for us. We do care about it. We do enjoy it, but it's fine. If it takes 2 weeks, it takes 2 weeks, doesn't
we'll
it?
keep them waiting. But,
Don't want to rush these things.
No, and also I don't know if we're doing too many episodes in my living room. I know we've called it the Living Room Chat podcast.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anyone's out there with a living room and you want us to come and sit down and talk for half an hour in your living room.
We'll go anywhere. Like that
Anywhere.
listener in Peru. Like, was it Peru? We had a listener.
Yeah, if they'll pay expenses.
We'll fly out there. Do a little open sides. Yeah. No, mate, you can come to mine next time if you want, or we'll do your office, or we'll do it anywhere.
Figure it out.
Find a vacant house to sit on the floor.
So I had let me just tell you about my nightmare this morning.
I actually want to hear all about it.
So big house, right? The biggest value house I've ever done a viewing on, and turned up early. Want to make sure everything was right.
Yeah.
First viewer comes in, the alarm starts going off.
Oh no.
And I didn't have an alarm code. What's going on? Like, called the owner, they didn't pick up.
Of course they didn't.
So I sent a voice note in our WhatsApp chat to be like, the alarm's going off.
Yeah.
Don't know what the code is.
Beep, beep,
Please
beep,
help.
beep, beep, beep.
Yeah, and it was like, it probably wasn't as loud as it like, but in my head it was like the whole world could hear this alarm going off.
Yeah.
So anyway, fortunately the owner gave me the alarm code and I did eventually get it turned off and it was fine. It was cool.
They never answer as well. When you're in that situation when something's gone wrong, they never answer.
And I was like, I'll get there early, make sure all the lights are turned on and everything, and then as second someone turned up, the alarm started going off.
Weird.
So the learning from that is to
Make sure you ask.
Make sure you know the alarm. I'm not used to houses with alarms, to be fair. But maybe that says a lot about the houses I'm dealing with. I don't know.
There you go. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the mare I had today. But
I didn't have so much of a mare, but I had a double completion this afternoon. So one house moved into another one. Met both sellers yesterday. Went and sorted out keys, collected boards, everything. So I was all prepared for today because I had a viewing straight after when I knew a house had to complete. So I didn't have time to hang around.
Were they both your deals?
Both. And they're literally one road apart from each other.
Nice.
So I literally walked from one to the other to drop keys off. It was quite straightforward. But so we agreed to complete on the first one at 1:00, and then I'd meet the second buyers at the other house at 1:30. Met the first sellers, which is the top of the chain, at about 11:45, and she's like, "Yeah, nearly done. Got about 15, 20 minutes to go, and then I'll be done." I was like, "Sick. All right, no worries at all. I'll complete about 1, so I'll come back then." So I called at 1:00, saying, "We've just completed. I'm meeting the buyers there in about 5 minutes. Is that cool?" She goes, "Oh, no. I'm just on my way back. I've just had to pop out and drop off some stuff. I've got to go back and load the car up." I was like, "With what?" And she's like, "Oh, I noticed I hadn't cleaned out 2 of the cupboards in the kitchen. And then I went to look and just check the fridge. I was going to clean that and then realised I hadn't emptied the freezer either." So, long story short, 1:00 goes past, 1:15 goes past, 1:30 comes past. I'm supposed to meet the other buyers at 1:30. The removal guys, the 2 massive vans with 6 guys, just stood there with arse face like a slapped arse, thinking, "I'm going to go down the pub. So what am I doing waiting outside when the house is empty?" And they were still packing up, so I was helping them load some stuff up last minute. Finally got in, I had to sprint back to the other house. Lucky it's only one road and I'm a fit lad. Give the keys to the other buyers and then get off to my viewing. So it could have been all straightforward and perfectly timed, but it didn't.
So I think people aren't aware that they usually need to be out by 12. I think
12's a guide, isn't it? That's like,
be out by 12.
I always say absolute 1:00 latest. Like, get out by 12, give it a quick spruce up, quick clean, quick hoover, quick wipe the sides down, done by 1. That's my view.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, 12 or 1. But I had a similar thing, a few completions this week. Turned up and the sellers were like, "The removal people are late. We haven't packed anything up." And it was just all crazy. But it usually is on moving.
Quick question. So you've had a few completions this week.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get any gifts and we don't do it for the gifts. We do it for the love of the job and the money we get paid. But it's always nice when the sellers get you a little card or a little gift, or the buyers. I've had 3 completions this week, and I got 4 cards/gifts from clients, and I got a really good one this afternoon, which was my last one. So I want to know, have you got any gifts that's worth noting, or should I just tell you mine?
My clients obviously don't like me as much
Did you
as
get
yours
anything?
like they. I think Matt got something from one of the sellers of one of the deals.
So I did the one I was supposed to do at 1:30. I went back there at like 1:45 by the end of it, and they were waiting outside. Gave them the keys. Said, thanks so much. Made sure I did the meter readings with them. Blah blah blah. Happy? Yeah, all happy. They then said, we've got a few things for you, and they opened up a bag, and there was like loads of stuff in there, and they just kept giving me stuff. So they gave me a card.
Hands filling up.
Yeah, no, and it was I literally had to carry it back because obviously I was walked from the other house, so I had to carry it all back. I got bottle of prosecco. Obviously that's not for me; it's probably for Lauren. But there we go.
Yeah.
Obviously a card, chocolates, bottle of red wine, and a wonderful bottle. I don't even know what the brand is, but a boxed single malt whiskey.
You know, if it comes in a box, it's fancy.
Like really nice. I'm sure they were moving out and just cleared out their cupboards and go, just give that to
I
Ryan.
bet, yeah.
But even so, it was a really nice gesture, and I'm looking forward to having a little tipple.
Little tipple.
Yeah, I might wait. I might drink it with Andy. Cheers for watching and listening. I'll drink that whiskey with you, mate. It's father-in-law, top number 1 fan as well. I don't know what comes first now, father-in-law or number 1 pod fan. Who
That's
knows?
for you to discuss around the dinner table at Christmas.
There we go, or over a whiskey. So yeah.
It is nice though, isn't it, getting gifts? Although I didn't get any this week, it is fairly common.
Yeah, it is. And it's a nice thing to do because we do work bloody hard. And I know we get paid in the most of it relatively well for it. Mm-hmm. But it's still nice to show that you're appreciated. So keep up the gifts.
I got a gift to the removal people as they were moving out the other day in the house I was just talking about.
Yeah.
I turned up and I said, is there anything I can do to help? And the seller went, oh, well, the removal people want some cold fizzy drinks. So off I went.
Did you?
Yeah.
Out your own money?
Out my own money.
Oh, mate, well done.
Oh,
It's nice little touches like that, though.
Well, I thought, what's £7.50? And I did think, well, they should bloody well turn up on time and bring their own cold fizzy drinks.
Yeah.
But,
There we go. Not to bitch about. So, anyway, a nice little intro. That felt like a nice natural intro chat. I enjoyed that.
Up,
yeah. I felt last episode, because we've been so long off, we were kind of, when I listen back to it, not that we were hit and miss, but there was a few, I think we got very natural with it, very good presenting, not blowing our own trumpet, but I think we got pretty good at it. And last week's episode, I felt was a little disjointed.
Okay, out of practice.
Yeah. But the first, whatever this is, 5, 6, 7 minutes, we don't know, has gone well. So good start.
Yeah, good start. Well, let's
dive into some topics.
Let's go into some topics. So you mentioned a topic which I think we should talk about, which is price prefixes.
Yes.
On properties. So a price prefix being whenever you're on a website and you see like offers in excess of, or guide price, or offers in the region of.
Yeah.
What are some others?
Or fixed price.
Fixed price.
Yeah. What's else? Some offers in the region of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or there's offers in excess of and offers over, which are obviously the same thing.
They're pretty much the main ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
So are they good, bad, ugly, unimportant? What's your views?
I think they can be used and there can be a time and a place for them. I think it depends on the property you're selling and the market you're in.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
So I've just taken on a property actually where we had the conversation like they wanted to list it here under the assumption someone was going to knock them down and they'd end up here.
Yeah.
So, I kind of explained it's not necessarily how it works. We know that we sell properties over asking price, we sell properties at the asking price, and sometimes we sell them under the asking price. Yeah. But it's all about where you put that asking price.
Absolutely.
So I think price prefixes for a property which is not standard, I think if you want to have a more attractive price and have offers over, I think that could be really effective because you're going to get eyeballs on it because of the price.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of say, well, look, the seller's only considering offers over this.
Yeah. It almost gets the inquiries in to be able to have... it's a good way of stimulating interest to have that conversation. But what I don't, how it spurred me is a conversation I had. I valued a 1-bedroom flat on yesterday, Thursday evening, and priced it at 180. I said it's probably realistically going to sell for maybe 175, 176, but I would say would go on, optimum prices go on at 175, but possibly I think maximum value would be 180 to go on the market for. And she said, that's fine. I was really hoping for 180, so could we try maybe offers in excess of 180? And I said, no, I don't think we can, because that's too much money. My assumption and my view, and I've got a prime example that I didn't swear, yes, that rundown house that I sold in Thailand a few months ago that I've talked about a couple of times on the pods. That was a prime example. That house was worth 350 grand all day long and twice on Sunday. And we priced it offers in excess of 300. And it went crazy. Like, I can't remember, there was something like 95 inquiries, had 2 double open houses, 40 viewings, 25 offers.
I remember you were stressed after that went on the
I was,
market.
yeah. I had to take off the market within like 3 days because it was killing me. And people trying to offer cash, backhanders here, backhanders there. Whoa. Maybe that was a little bit too cheap, but the reason we priced it at that is because it needed a complete overhaul. Perfect example of how to do it. Price extremely low to generate incredible levels of interest, and then be able to explain to buyers that it is best and finals and it's going to go over asking. That worked really well. Not on a house. You can't go offers in excess of if you price it at market value.
So the flat situation you mentioned, someone wants 180, let's price it offers over 180.
Yeah.
If you're a buyer, you're looking at that and going, well, I've got 175 to spend.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go and look at that because they want
Do you know
185,
what? I
190.
literally said word for word what you just said to the client. Exactly that. I said 174, not 175. But it's exactly the point. You're going to discourage any buyers to come and look at it who may not be able to stretch. But if you just priced at 180, someone with a budget of 174 is the example I gave, or 175, perfect. They'll probably still come and view. And if they really like it that much, I'm sure they can find a couple of grand down the back of the sofa or the bank of mum and dad. I'm sure they can make it work. But I kind of said, why eliminate, or why people even give people even the option to not come and view it just by using one terminology at the start of a price? Just forget about it.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Another example of when I think a prefix is a good idea. You mentioned like non-standard properties, but properties that are a little bit quirky, that are maybe bigger than the average on the road, or need a bit of work, but you could see value in it. Love a little guide price, I do.
Yeah.
Love a little guide price.
Do you know what I like about guide prices? It's nice and vague.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Pure vagueness.
Yeah, it's just,
Yeah.
it's
just a guide. Yeah.
just a guide.
It's on for 500, could be 400, could be 600, just a guide.
What do you think it's
Yeah,
worth?
what do you think? Oh, mate. Love a guide price. So I've got a couple on the market at guide price at the moment.
And I think as well, we've always had those properties where you don't know what it's worth.
Yeah, when there's very few comparables, because pricing properties as an estate agent is relatively straightforward. You look at sold history in the area, you look at comparable properties that are under offer at the moment, what's the competition saying, if it's on the market and it's not sold, what price is it, and you price it accordingly. Pretty straightforward. But you get those houses, they're normally out in the sticks somewhere,
Yeah.
like out in the middle of a field with no other houses around it, and nothing's sold for 100,000 years.
Yeah.
And you're like, cool, I think it's worth this. We're going to try guide price.
Yeah. I think that's the way to do it. I also like to look at metrics like price per square foot. When I don't know a value, I think price per square foot is
don't you?
very helpful.
Yeah.
But that takes some time, and you have to be quite accurate with measuring the house and stuff.
Yeah. And again, same principle though. If it doesn't come up in the right area, like if you haven't got other people's houses to compare with price per square foot in the local area, then it doesn't really help.
How helpful is it?
Yeah.
What other prefixes are there? So offers in the region of. I mean, that to me,
It's just a posher way of saying guide price.
Yeah, you
quite
might as
vague.
well not have it.
Yeah.
Really.
It's kind of pointless. Fixed price. I can see arguments for, arguments against. Fixed price. If you know you want 300 grand for your place, you just put fixed price. It just eliminates any issues. But then again, are you coming back to that offers in excess of route and eliminating a buyer who's got 295 or ultra critical and serious on their numbers and go, I can't pay any more. If it's a fixed price at 300, I'm going to be £5,000 short.
Yeah, I think the fixed price is more just, to me, it just says this price or fuck off.
Mm-hmm.
And if, okay, you're going to put a fixed price on it, what happens after you're on the market for 2 months?
Sorry, I just need to stop you there.
I swore.
This is the first time in an episode, 28 episodes in, and I can imagine it's the first episode where Matt has swore before I have.
Guilty.
Yes.
Guilty.
I knew the day would come, and I'm not going to swear in this episode, so there we go.
Yeah, PG right.
Sorry to cut you off there, mate.
Yeah, fixed price, don't like fixed price.
I heard, and this is purely just something I might have just seen scrolling through the endless bits of content that I ever look at, price on application is being removed, i.e. illegal to use.
Yeah.
That's true, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Because POA was a fantastic tool we used to use.
Effective.
Yeah, brilliant. So, just for people that don't know, a really snide little tactic, estate agents used to use, guilty as charged. If you had a house on the market at 525 and you wanted more interest, and there was loads on the market at 450, for example, you change the price online to 450, but you change it to POA. So basically what it means is you couldn't see the price online, but it would come up in the listings around the 450 level. So suddenly the house would look a lot cheaper than it is, and people would phone up and say, hi, I've seen number 52 Arcadia, well, they wouldn't know the address, but I've seen Acacia Avenue on the market, and it says POA.
What's the price?
Yeah, the 4-bed detached. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, thanks so much. Let me get your details. What's your budget? How are you looking for? Let me register your details. Blah, 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 blah. So you want to have a look at it? Yeah. You didn't tell me the price, though. It's on for 525. Sorry? So 525. 525. Yeah. Well, my budget's like 460. I was like, yeah, it's cool. Come in anyway.
That's so sneaky.
It's so bad, isn't it?
That's
so bad.
I didn't know that little trick because it hadn't occurred to me that the portals know the price. Because I see sometimes you get POA with like higher value listings.
Yes.
And I've always wondered, well, how...
Yeah, the portals stick it in price chronological order as always. So you can't see it. Obviously, if you know what you're looking at, you can work it out. If it's all around the 450s, you'd assume it's 450. But yeah, that used to work. But good thing in getting rid of it because it is just pointless. It's just a way. It's just a data grabbing exercise to get people's details to try and con them into buying something. In my opinion.
I agree. Another prefix scenario I really don't like, and this is something for people to watch out for. You know when you see a price reduction on a property?
Yes.
So for example, a property is 550 on the market, and then the price changes to offers over 535.
Yeah.
Right, so it's been reduced 15 grand, but
yeah.
offers over. Like, if you've been on the market for 550 for any length of time, and nobody's offered you above 535, reducing it to offers over 535 is
ain't
not
going to work, is it? It's not going to
gonna
work. Slightly off tangent here, but I found a cheat code on Rightmove. I don't know if I should say it. Actually, yeah. I didn't swear.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it anyway. Do you know on Rightmove, if you reduce the price down on a property
Then put it back
and
up.
put it back up, it still comes up as price reduction and relist it online.
Yeah, because I've seen that.
I've done it a couple of times.
That price reduction.
And it's worked. I've got viewings off it. Like, it's bad, but it does work.
Well, is it bad if you can do it?
Yeah.
It's a hack.
Know your way around. At the end of the day, our sole focus is not to try and make sure that we stick to every rule that Rightmove put in place. It's to get our clients' property sold. And if there's things you can do to change that and try and edge it on its way, why not?
Because
It's only wrong if you get caught.
I didn't know that, and I thought, well, why has this agent just changed the price like the same time in one day? But that's why.
That's why. Yeah. Back up, back down. So there we go.
Sneaky.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Moving on from pricing, a topic I wanted to discuss, and honestly, I don't know the right answer for this. And it's always been a question that's come up from some people, especially I find it typically if someone's coming from out of the area to view houses in our area, and they ask a very simple question: why is this house so much more expensive than that exact house 5 roads down? And the common response we give is, it's a better road. So my question is, and the topic of conversation is, what makes expensive roads stay expensive? And just to add a point on that, I appreciate that location, school catchments, transport links, general size of plots will of course affect the price. But when you've got, let's say, a 4-bedroom detached on a super premier road in one area, and a 4-bedroom detached that may even be better condition in a slightly less desirable area, what constitutes why they're so much different in price? Is it just the rich staying rich and, you know, you buying the road name itself?
It's that old thing of something's worth what someone will pay for it.
Yeah,
But it's so interesting, isn't it?
it is.
Because you can look at houses, you know, on different sides of the same street even.
Yeah,
And well, they sell for this and they sell for that.
yeah. Normally on the same street, there's a reason for it. There's a road in Winnersh, Woking, not far from us. Well, not far from where we're sat now. Bathurst Road. One has nice gardens, the Evens, and the odds all back onto the train line with small gardens.
Yeah.
So the Evens are traditionally, and when I worked there for years, were always 15 or 20 grand more expensive than the odds. You can understand that.
Same with like Algar Road in Reading, where you've got one backing onto the lake and the other.
Yeah, onto
not.
the river and one backing onto the
Yeah,
just
the river,
the shit
yeah.
of Reading.
Yeah.
But yeah, expensive roads. Like why? Like if there's £1 million road, every house is £1 million, and it's like you've got small detached bungalow, £1,000,000. Why? If you move that 10 roads away, it'd be 400 grand. Why is it so much more? You just paying the premium for the street.
But I think you do though, don't you? Because people might say, oh, well, why are London prices so expensive if everyone's working from
You can
home?
argue with but my argument to that is London is so expensive because of the demand, because you've got so much foreign investment still pouring into the
Yeah.
capital. There is just more demand for property, and people that are coming from overseas, not so much Russia anymore, but it was Russian money and Saudi money,
oil money, and all that
money,
stuff.
can afford to just pay ridiculous prices, and it escalates the whole area. But I'm talking about same location, expensive road. Why is it so expensive? Is it just, oh, let's just keep it this expensive, or because next door neighbour sold for that price, we're now worth this, and people pay it? I don't understand why.
Yeah, I think people do, especially I would say in the sort of 800 plus
Yeah,
houses,
Yeah.
you know, into the millions. There's kind of a like, oh, we want to live here because this is where that kind of person lives.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
yeah.
Maybe
Maybe it is just the people you're surrounding yourself with.
I think about Whitley near here.
Yeah.
And you think about some of the houses. You know, houses there historically have been cheaper than the rest of Reading.
Yeah,
But then along the Shinfield Road, you've got £1 million houses.
yeah,
So on paper they are, you know, say 4 or 5 bedrooms, but large detached houses.
yeah,
But they get a premium even though they're on the border.
yeah. And they're on a main road on the border of a not so desirable area.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
doesn't. It's just confusing, isn't it? Maybe it does happen in lower. You obviously said there the higher prices. Maybe it's more noticeable in higher prices, but it's the same. You can have a house that's worth 400 grand in one road, and Whitley's a prime example. You could have a house on Staverton Road that's worth 350, but then across the road on Briber Close off Whitleywood Lane it would be 450. It's 100 grand difference in the same area,
Yeah, it's true.
and they're both 3-bed semis.
Well,
I mean, Stavy Road is fucking shit. I had to swear for that. It is awful, but
I mean, you drive down that road and you think, yeah, this is
I
where
don't
the
want to
cheap
live here. I
houses
don't care how
are.
much it is. You can't pay me to live here. Sorry, any listeners that live on Staverton Road. If you do, thanks for listening, but get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, call us.
Quick
like,
as
move.
possible.
Yeah, move
Yeah.
quickly.
That's really horrible, actually. I take it all back. No, I don't.
It's not a great road.
It's not a great road at all.
But, you know, if you want to have drug dealers on your doorstep, it might
Yeah,
be for
man,
you.
absolutely.
Yeah. But I've been I've got this listing in Taplow and sort of learning a little bit about that market and the Maidenhead market. And you
Yeah.
can buy a 2-bedroom flat there for 800 grand.
Yeah.
And it's,
Okay, it's a bit closer to London, but what constitutes paying nearly £1 million for a flat?
yeah. And who buys that and who sees value buying that at 800k
Yeah.
versus buying something.
You could buy a really nice flat in Hurst, for example, beautiful area, like 10 minutes or 15 minutes away, for 400 grand. Still a lot of money for an apartment.
I tell people a lot of the time when they're buying a house, like, try to think of it as you're buying land with a house on it.
Yeah,
So, yeah, don't worry too much about like how new the boiler is. Like, is it a good piece of land?
yeah. Can you do something with it? That's the way I look at it. Can you extend it? Even if you don't want to, when you resell it in 10, 15 years' time, is that still an option for another buyer? Because that's going to be
Yeah.
good.
Because I find it interesting with the flat market, even in Reading. You know, you think a 2-bedroom flat in Reading ranges from maybe a cheap one, 200k.
Yeah, really cheap. Yeah,
And then the new ones in Thames Quarter, whatever it's called, I think
could
they,
be like $500,000.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a huge variance
Yeah,
for a 60, 70, 80 square metre apartment.
yeah. Good point.
Um,
Interesting though.
So what are
just-
you paying for?
So basically, what we've concluded is we have no idea why people pay premium for roads. It's just the road name. And if a buyer asks me again, why is it so expensive compared to that house? I'll be like, it's just the road, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just the location.
Again, like, how do we value houses? Look at the comps.
Yeah. Good point. Good point.
And that's it, isn't it?
And maybe you could say, well, yeah, look down, all the gardens are primed and perfect, and there's nice cars on the drive. You're just surrounding yourself with nice, like-minded people. That's why you should buy this house for 100 grand more than that one over there.
So do you think, here's a question for you. Do you think a house is worth less if someone's died in it, or worth more if someone famous has lived in it?
It depends if the buyer knows. Either way. If both houses, if it wasn't like a crap house and not a crack house, a crap house and a pristine house, they're same houses exactly. I could see why someone would pay more money for a house with someone famous in it rather than someone died in it. But at the same time, I don't think people really care. It is my honest opinion. People care more about someone dying in it. If someone's famous in it, oh, Mick Jagger used to live here. I'd be like, who? Obviously, I know who he is, but people that are younger wouldn't.
Yeah.
I'm sure they would. But
Interesting, isn't it?
I sold a house where, when it was built, it was in Winnersh as well actually, and Elton John is a friend of Elton John's who used to live there. So it was only a 4-bed semi, and when he had his bathroom refitted, Elton John signed behind the bathroom tile on the plaster.
That's cool.
True story. Seller told the buyers, it wasn't a 4-bed semi, it was a 4-bed detached. I remember the exact house now, and but the sellers told me, but obviously they've got tiles in the bathroom. I was like, well, how am I ever going to know?
Prove it.
Yeah. So I told the buyers, I was like, I can't prove it to you, but Elton John is signed behind that tile there. I promise you. So when you refit your bathroom, it's brand new, in like 10 years' time, you'll find out if I'm lying or not.
This should be something you say to on every house you sell now.
Yeah.
On every house.
God, David Beckham used to live here. He signed a tile behind there, believe it or not. And then
How
they said,
long would it take until that comes back around?
Yeah, 5 years' time they come back and say, you said believe it or not. I'm like, exactly, believe it or not. You did believe it and it wasn't true.
Goes to show though, doesn't it, that so much of buying a house is an emotional connection.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then obviously a famous person living there adds to it. Someone
Yeah.
dying in it
Detracts
detracts
from
from it.
Yeah.
And then the area you're in, even if it's an okay area, like I know, talking to Sophie about moving houses,
Yeah.
she won't live in Whitley Wood.
Right, okay.
I've got nothing wrong with Whitley Wood, and I actually threw it in the hat as a viable area. She won't do it. So no matter how nice a house is, no matter how good the deal is, no matter,
She's not interested.
even if it's right on the edge and you don't have to like
Go in the deep dark depths of Whitley. I get nothing against Whitley. Ricky Gervais was brought up in Whitley.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with Whitley. Just unless you go there.
So yeah, people have different perceptions of areas.
Yeah.
But then you can also move into a good area and have a bad neighbour.
Yeah.
So
Or
I
bad
think,
house.
I think a good bit of advice for people is to knock on the neighbours' doors before you exchange contracts.
Would you knock on people's doors before you?
I would and I will, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, just to say like, hi, I'm Matt. We're just.
I
looking
would
at the
I would
house
probably
next
do a
door.
different one and hang outside just around the corner until they pulled up on the drive and then quickly jump out of the car and walk past. Oh hi, I'm buying this house actually. How are you? What's your name?
Been waiting in
Ah.
the car for 5 hours.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Aren't you the that guy that did? Maybe I won't buy this house then.
No, I had an awkward moment. Me and Soph went to view a house,
Yeah.
and the agent pulled up just as the seller was leaving, and we were waiting outside. And the seller looked at me, and then we met the agent, and the agent goes, "Oh, are you from Avocado?" I said, "Oh yeah. How did you know?" He goes, "Oh, the seller's just said, why is the guy from Avocado stood outside my house?"
Really?
I got the nastiest daggers from her. We're like going in and going out again.
Wow.
Yeah, and it made Soph actually feel really uncomfortable.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah.
She local?
thought so. Yeah.
Weird. Maybe she had one of the other guys out and didn't like him.
Maybe, yeah. I didn't know, and we're genuine buyers. We're just going
You're
to
not
do the
there
house.
messing around. You're not there just for an afternoon, are you?
But it was, interesting. And again, we talk about the buyer experience when they're viewing a house.
Yeah.
Like for us, I didn't care, but for Sophie, she was like, "Oh, why?"
What's
no,
your
why's it got a
what's
problem?"
your general experience being a viewing houses with like quality of estate agency? Obviously, clearly people must like. I'm not saying we're famous, but you're pretty TikTok famous to be fair, aren't you? Like people know our names because of how out there we are on social media. There's not many estate agents if you say Avocado Property or our first names that they wouldn't know who we are.
Yeah, I'm not conscious of it until I forget that I'm running ads all the time, and people will see that on their screens.
Yeah.
It's like I went to a wedding with some old friends the
Yeah.
other day, and everyone knew what I did
Yeah,
just because of my content.
yeah,
Um,
I get the same.
But viewing houses has been fine. I think I'm a really nice viewer,
Yeah,
and I've been reflecting on it because I'm going in and I'm always just friendly and looking around.
yeah,
I'm not standoffish at all.
yeah.
So I think I make it quite easy for the
Makes sense. Yeah, that's a good point.
Whereas I've noticed now I do viewings, I'm noticing more how people are cold and people don't want to
You
give
have to open up a
information.
little bit, don't you?
Yeah.
Crack them jokes straight away.
Whereas I think because I know the kind of information the estate agent will want to
Yeah,
know from me, I'm just offering it up
yeah.
front.
I love the best viewings I do is when because I always have a same sort of pitter patter. I welcome in, say this is it. Do you know the area well? Yes or no? Great. Tell you a bit about the area. Let me know the seller's situation, and then I go through what the sellers are doing, so how long they live there, what they're doing, and then how long it's been on the market, what the interest is like. I kind of cover them all off. Explain we're going to do the house, we're going to do downstairs, upstairs, then we're going to go in the garden, and then you'll have 5 minutes to walk around if you want to on your own. That okay with you? Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Really appreciate that. The best buyers then proceed to tell me they go, right, no, thanks for that. Hold my beer. Let me tell you our situation. We've got a mortgage agreement in principle. Blah blah blah. Got solicitors ready. Tell me everything that makes them such a good buyer. We're ready to go. Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, great. I'm glad we just set the air there. We know what we're doing. We know where we stand with each other. Let's sell some houses
That's a good relationship building
straight away.
exercise.
Yeah. No, and then you can spend the whole time just getting to know each other, build rapport. They trust you with the answers you're giving. If they turn around and want to make an offer, you trust they're going to be legit because of how they've conducted themselves. It makes a massive difference.
I think people forget sometimes that we're just there as the sort of intermediary between the seller. Like
Yeah.
if you don't like the house, that's okay. Like you can tell us.
Yeah. If you don't like something, we're not going to be offended, and I'm not going to tell the seller that you hate her brand new kitchen. I'm not going to tell her.
Sometimes at the end of the viewings, I'll be like, oh, well, kind of sensing based upon what you said, maybe this isn't one for you.
Yeah.
Because people will be like, oh, we'll have a think about it and let you know. Like,
Yeah, but you won't, will you?
No,
Yeah.
no.
So you interested or not? Like you can tell. The viewing I did before I came here, was going around. He was asking all the right questions. He's like, look, because I've got an offer on it at the moment. He said, if we made an offer like today, would that be put forward? Would that be considered? Would you call the other buyers? I was like, yeah, out of courtesy, I'd call the other buyers, but they're not sold. You guys are, so you'll be in a stronger position. So great. It's like, what? And you said the same thing. My mortgage is agreed. Like, I can call my broker straight away to get things sorted. I was like, brilliant. Like, I was literally thinking, like, it's little dollar signs in my eyes. He's going to offer it. Fantastic. Did the rest of the viewing. Like, well, good. Got out the front. I was like, cool. So, obviously take it your interest. Do you like to, do you want to make an offer? Do we have a chat with the seller about it? He goes, yeah, we've got 9 more to see tomorrow, and then I'll come back to you Monday. I was like, you fucking prick.
9 viewings.
Yeah. Anyway, like, each to their own. But like, he gave some really good signs. I was like, I thought I was good at reading people.
Got your hopes up.
Oh, mate,
that's
absolutely.
the worst, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this guy's definitely going to offer.
But then the flip side, you get the ones like you just go around and say a word. You're like, God, I hated it within their 4 minutes, and then like 20 minutes later, they email you, can I offer 10 grand over the asking price, please? Yes, you can.
Didn't see that coming.
Yeah, didn't see that one.
What do you reckon's the right amount of viewings? We had a chain fall apart recently, or it didn't fall apart, but our sellers chose to buy another house because the house above was taking too long.
Yeah.
They'd viewed like 15 properties in 2 weeks and hadn't found anything they wanted to offer on.
How many viewings you mean for a client to find somewhere?
Yeah,
Or
like
how many
just,
viewings to sell a house?
for us to find somewhere.
Yeah, I think like 10. You should you should do 1 weekend of viewings, 4 or 5 properties. You'll get a really good understanding of what you do want and what you don't want, and then after that, you don't need to do a whole block day of viewings again. You
Yeah.
can just do 1 or 2 as they come up and choose the one, and you'll know exactly what you're looking for. But you have some clients, like the completion I just did today. I was telling the story about the delayed seller. Like that client, this is the only house they viewed. They viewed one house with me and offered on it straight away, put their house on the market to buy it, and then they moved in.
And that's it.
They didn't even come back for a purchase visit. They viewed it once, half an hour, 8 weeks ago, and they moved in today.
Some people just know what they're looking for, don't they? And
they
I think you say about the road names and the roads which hold value.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times people will buy that house because it's on that road.
Yeah.
And it's even if the house isn't right, again, they're buying the land.
Yeah. Yeah, strange one. There we go.
Cool.
Well, I think we're probably about half an hour. I did want to chat about the Women's World Cup final.
Don't worry about that.
Cool. All right, nice one. I hope the Lionesses win. That's all I'm going to say on it.
Yeah, me too.
It'd be great for them. You know, it'll build their presence and reputation in,
absolutely.
in that fight for equal pay, which we all believe in. Close us out, Matt.
Thanks everyone for watching. It's been episode number 28 of Living Room Chat podcast. As always, fire us your questions in the comments. We love you all. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
See you soon.